Trauma is what happens when bad things happen to us that shouldn't happen, such as when we're children, if our parents die, or if we have abusive parents, right? Our parents get incarcerated or taken away in some way. These are things that happen that shouldn't happen. Okay, but trauma can also be when good things that should happen don't happen. So we might have very loving parents who are physically present with us, but they're not emotionally available. They're too stressed with trying to make the bills. They're too stressed with trying to navigate work. They're too stressed with their own lives in some way, and so they can't show up for us. Okay, these are just small examples, but these two areas, bad things happening that shouldn't, good things that should not happening, that's not enough for something to become traumatic. What I often see as the next ingredient that makes something traumatic is that we don't know what to do with the pain from this experience, mainly because we're all alone with it. So when I ask people, when they're telling me about their traumatic experiences, one of the questions I ask is, who'd you talk to about it? And almost every single time the answer is, nobody. I was completely alone with it. So trauma is when we have tremendous pain. Something bad happens that shouldn't, something good doesn't happen that should. We have the pain from this, and we're alone with it. In other words, we don't know what to do with the pain. So we don't know how to process it. We don't know how to express it. We don't know how to comfort the pain. We don't know how to soothe it. So what ends up happening through the traumatic experiences, we become constricted. Our range of potential ways of navigating pain have become limited. So for instance, as children, if we have abusive parents, there's only a couple ways that we can deal with it. We can go away physically, we can set boundaries, or we can go away mentally. Now, for children, if we set boundaries with an abusive parent, that'll probably make things more dangerous, so we can't do that. We can't really go away physically, so most of the times we go away mentally. One thing that people might do is they might make themselves very small, or they might make themselves very big in order to fight the threat before it comes. These are all ways of adapting to trauma. Okay, and so what ends up happening is when we go away mentally, this becomes our adaptation, and this affects us throughout our lives. We've become constricted down to when we feel something painful, regardless of what it is, we go away mentally. Or when we see somebody that's threatening, whether they're aggressive or assertive, or we just see them as a threat, we might make ourselves very small. Or if we see somebody who's a threat, we might make ourselves very big to get the threat before it gets us. So in other words, we go through something that's painful, we don't know what to do with it, we adapt to the pain in the only ways that we know how, but then the hallmark of the trauma is we've become constricted down to this way of adapting to it. So later in life, this is the way we deal with pain.